In today's festive witchy vlog, I'm going to be sharing with you my process of decorating our Yule trees, as well as imbuing magical intentions into different decorations and little DIYs. And I'm also going to be talking about some personal rituals for me at this time of year, as well as sharing some thoughts on the season. So get yourself a nice hot drink, settle back, relax, and enjoy. Thanks for joining me. I've recently shared quite a lot about my altar spaces, so you might see them sprinkled in and out, but I'm going to focus the majority of today's video on the trees, which I'm really excited about. I also have a couple more to decorate the tree with these little oranges that I dried, and I am planning to go to a garden centre at some point in the next few days, because we did have like one casualty and I just like to pick up a few extras. You know, kids always like to pick up a couple of, you know, special ones. They've already picked up a couple this year from the place where we got our tree from, but I'm really excited to share these Christmas trees with you because it's kind of like a really special tradition for me and something that has always been in my heart. So I'm excited. Let's just get right on into it. So I'm going to show you the tree in the daylight and at nighttime as well, so you can get a feel. But essentially this is the tree in our kitchen. So this is a real tree. It is stunning. We picked it up a couple of weeks ago. It's a beautiful tree topper, a lovely star. I love stars and moons at this time of year. So for years, essentially, when I was growing up, we obviously had gold and reds, all the traditionals, and I used to have like tinsel, but tinsel is not really my bag personally. And then in my 20s with my hubby, when we were living in our flat, I went through this like pink stage and had all these glass pink baubles that I loved. And then I decided I wanted to go snowy, so I picked up all these snowy ones, which you will see some of those in a minute on the other tree. And I had a snowy tree as well, like a faux snowy tree, because up until that point, my hubby and I had always gotten real ones like this, which I absolutely adore, the real trees. And then we moved to this house a few years ago. This is gonna be our third Christmas in this house. And I was like, I need to have two trees. I need a real tree and I need my snowy tree. This is our third Christmas in the house, but it's only the second Christmas that we've had two trees, because last Christmas we only had our faux tree because we were going away for the actual Christmas. So I didn't want to get two trees. My plan for this when we first moved into the house was to have like a real tree in the kitchen and that I could hang kind of more kitsch, foodie sort of decorations, but also more traditional things, and also things that like my kids chose. So kind of like those glass ornaments that are kind of kitschy. And then things like this, I picked this up this year at the National Trust, and this is for Lilith. So shortly I am going to be sharing with you more about rituals, magical charms and decorations that you can work with, things that you can DIY and create yourself, as well as the importance of this time of year and what I'm really working on at the moment. But before then, I would love to share some pieces from Ana Luisa that I am going to be gifting this year. So I'm really excited to be partnering again with Ana Luisa, and I am really thrilled to say that they have a wonderful sale on at the moment, a holiday sale that includes 35% off with the link below. And I always have a 20% off link anyway with my code Emily20. I am absolutely thrilled with the pieces from Ana Luisa, as if you've seen my previous videos, you'll have seen the quality of these pieces and the unique style and design of the pieces. They are aesthetically beautiful, and so many of them actually work for me in a spiritual way as well, and I've highlighted that in my Glamour Magic video as well as in my Amulets and Talismans video. And I've shared how I've dedicated pieces to Lilith and how I have imbued magical intention into a number of the items. They are so beautiful. The quality of the pieces from Ana Luisa is unmatched in my opinion compared to what I have purchased in the past. So I'm really thrilled to share the pieces. Stars and moons are just perfect, and I really love these earrings. They are so festive. I am absolutely thrilled with them. I also love this rose pendant. I think this is such a sweet gift. It's got a very vintage feel to it, and it reminds me of my grandmother as well. It's so beautiful. There are so many different styles for every aesthetic preference. Another thing I really love about Anna Luisa is that they care about their carbon footprint and how they work within the world, the people that work for them, as well as the planet. So they are always making sure that their process is carbon neutral, as well as their packaging being eco-friendly. We are quickly approaching Christmas now, so click the link to pick up some really beautiful, high quality, affordable, luxurious jewellery pieces while you can. It is just the perfect gift. So don't miss out. Check out the holiday sale right now at Ana Luisa and use my link below to shop the sale at up to 35% off. I am obsessed with picks. So for this tree, I picked up a ton of different golds and reds. I am obsessed with mushrooms and these velvety gold ornaments. I have this Santa here who's so incredibly cute. He looks like he's about to fall off, doesn't he? Better put him back on before he falls off. And actually, our cat Smokey has been going at some of these decorations, especially the little, soft mice, and there's a fox, and he loves pulling them off the tree. And thankfully we've actually only had one casualty, and it was one of these beautiful golden glass. I pretty much only have glass, apart from things like this came in a packet of 3, and I thought they were glass, but they're not, but they look it. But there's most of the decorations are glass. This was actually handmade by a mum that I know from school, so I picked up a couple of those last year, and I gave one to my sister who lives in Australia and one to my mum, so they have one on their tree as well. I did these this year. They're beautiful, orange slices, of course, sprinkled with some cinnamon, and of course perfect for abundance and prosperity magic. And in addition to that, you could also use ginger, cloves, nutmeg, cardamom, star anise. There are so many herbs and spices that are perfect for this. My mother-in-law picked this up from Venice when they went a few years ago. This is Kath Kidson packet of baubles. Lovely cute little mice and things. And so I love this whole woodland theme vibe. But yeah, on this tree I usually, as in the real tree, I usually like to go red and green and gold. Oh, this is so funny and cute. My daughter picked this one up this year. It's not quite the right shade. It's a bit more cheesy, but it's got the kitsch, it works. And I love, of course, the little nutcrackers. It reminds me of my childhood so much. When I was younger, my parents had all the usual kind of typical baubles, but then they'd have this special box that they'd crack out at the end, and they always went on last. And there were lots of nutcrackers and, little men skiing and little mice and things like that. And so I actually don't have any, I don't think, on this tree from when I was little, but these are all kind of reminiscent of that for me. And so they're really, really special. I think I've probably been rambling for quite a long time, so you've probably seen quite a lot. There's a lot of Gisela Graham, a lot of Decoris, just different garden centres. So the decorations are really important, but so is the ritual of dressing the Yule tree or the Christmas tree, or however you celebrate. So when I was growing up, it was always a ritual. We usually did it later than I do it now, later in December, but I do mine in November as an adult. And it's just to get ahead, really, but also having 2 trees, it takes a long time to decorate. But every single bauble put on the tree, I like to have a ritual whereby we're playing music, where there's joy. And then, of course, when you create your own decorations, you can imbue that energy into them as well. So it's really special and personalized. And of course, you can ritualize this in any way you want. You can have special drinks, special music. You can dance around the tree. You can light candles. And you can just make it exactly what it needs to be for you. Set your own intention and then be thinking of that the entire time and visualize it. You could even use sigils in this and incorporate them into your decor. And so just really follow your intuition with it. And I just love being able to express my creativity this way. There's also a lot of folklore around bringing evergreens into the home for protection. From Scottish lore, there's lots around the holly, and in German folklore, the mistletoe. And in England, a sprig of rosemary was placed above the bed to prevent bad dreams or nightmares from manifesting. We have such a romantic kind of attachment to the idea of mistletoe. There's actually a lot of folklore that suggests that it was used to protect against nightmares and bad dreams, as well as demons and spirits and witches and any malevolent beings from coming into the space. So it was used as a kind of apotropaic amulet in Austrian and Dutch folklore. This is years worth of collecting. And remember, I'm like 37, so I've been having Christmases with my hubby for a very, very long time. When he was still my boyfriend and we lived together, we've been doing Christmas together for a really, really long time. So I've been collecting these and I was obsessed. So I remember when I worked in London in my 20s, I was within walking distance of Selfridges, so I used to go there on my lunch break and just spend ages looking at all the decorations and picking up loads, and just every year I would pick up a ton. So it's been a real passion for me, really, and I've got more to talk about with regards to that period of my life and some glamours and things like that, so we'll go into that in another video. This is the kitchen Christmas tree, which I am very, very fond of, and of course this one for Lilith, and there's some Yuletide decorations as well as like the more modern Christmassy kitsch vibe, so I just love it. I think it's a bit of me, basically. This is how this little side is looking at the moment. I've got another mushroom, my wreath, herbal apothecary that you've seen lots, and there's a little deer up there, my witch's devil, and just some other things going on. So I ordered these for my kids and they got one each, and it's like a letter that's personalized from Santa. It's so cute. And over here, this is decoration, but I decided to hang it here so that I could use it as like sound cleansing if I needed to just quickly cleanse the space. Okay, over here I have some little decorations as well. Snow globe with some beautiful penguin family, a little nativity there, and candle holder, and this is a lovely little house that used to light up, it doesn't anymore. Star, and then this is the kids' advent calendar, so I put little chocolates in each of the drawers, and star. Oh, my lights aren't on. The lights are on. So this is so funny. Look, the skaters have come off, no. So actually, how do I turn this music? Okay, much better. It's just the lights now. This is a little village scene that I got last year. Obviously, 2 of the skaters have fallen off, so I need to get my hubby to stick them back because they're looking a bit sad. I just thought it's so cute, and it goes with the theme of this room, of course. Got some themed poinsettias and some of the eucalyptus. I haven't hoovered this floor yet, so forgive the floor mess, and this is a garland that I need to put on the stairs, but my hubby needs to untangle it because it's got a load of lights tangled up in it, so disregard that right now. This tree we've had up for 2 weeks, but it's only been decorated for 1 week, and on the camera it looks like the lights are flashing. They're really not in real life. Yeah, that's really weird. I always find that so strange. So this tree is so super cute and special. So I've got a decoration there for Rosalie that we got when she was born. A little mushroom. I think that's actually quite funny. I'm not going to go into it. And then some little fairies. Of course, I have a ton of fairies on this tree. Just some really enchanting decorations, more mushrooms. I have a little Elsa there. This was Rosalie's from several years ago, I'm not sure. Little penguin. Lots of these picks again on this snowy tree. So I made a load of these, and we've lost quite a few now, but I made them maybe 6 years ago, maybe 7 years ago, I'm not sure, but a really long time ago, and they're glass, so this is why, I mean, we've lost them. They're sort of iridescent. They've got rose petals and calendula and some lavender, and then they've got like little wishes in them, so they always go on this tree. I love the iridescence. I just love this. It reminded me of Beauty and the Beast. I had these like little feathery things, and these are like feather boas that I just think enhance the snowiness, which I love. And then I've got these beautiful ones that open up. You can put little charms in there. Another fairy. These are Gisela Graham, by the way, if you're in England. A lot of them are glass again. So another one that I made. It's just beautiful, my wolf. These, oh my gosh, this is for Gabe. More picks and more lovely glass ornaments. A ton of these like really sparkly, beautiful things. So this has totally been my vibe for like a number of years now. So I like to think as well, I mean, really this one should be on the other tree because it's got the gold, and actually this one could go on either tree because it's got the gold and the iridescence. You can kind of get away with certain things, like this has sort of got gold as well, but it's got the pink. So it goes on this tree, and actually this one's got gold as well. But essentially, you can't really see this because it's right up against the wall. There's a lot more sparkly. So there's some white company. There's again Gisela Graham, some Decor. I remember I picked up this rose from Selfridges years ago. Yeah, so a number of different decorations from different places. I have a few Disney ones at the back that I think are really cute, but they're still really cute. Oh, it looks like there's one down there that's been lost. I wonder if that's okay. Let's retrieve it. So it's still okay, it's intact. It's one of these open close ones. So I need to sort that out. I love these ones as well. They're just absolutely stunning, kind of like Art Deco sort of theme. Yeah, so you get the vibe though. It's like snowy woodland theme, icicles, mushrooms. Yeah, I just love it. And I like it in here because this room is like very grey and white, so it just works perfectly well. So yeah, I just love this tree so much. It's just glorious. So this tree has a special place in my heart because it reminds me of a tree. My grandma had one of these, basically, my paternal grandma, when I was younger, and Christmases at her house were the most joyful because my dad has 4 brothers, one of whom is now in spirit, and my grandma is also in spirit. So she was an incredible mother to 5 boys, essentially, and they're all incredible men. And I've got a load of cousins who are all wonderful people, and it was just the most amazing way to grow up because we were all very close. And even though we had part of the family lived in South Africa, that's where my grandma is from, my paternal grandma was from South Africa. Family in South Africa, I have family in Canada, and then family up and down England. We wouldn't always be able to get together, not every year, but then occasionally we'd have these big family reunions, and oftentimes at Christmas there'd be quite a lot of people around, and it was just the most amazing time because the kids, like, I was one of the kids, I was one of the youngest actually. My sister was one of the oldest and I was one of the youngest of the kids, and then there were a few more younger kids after me, and it was just the best because there were so many of us, and it was just the funnest time. And yeah, my grandma had a tree like this. It wasn't the exact one. I was really sad after she passed away. I think this kind of thing got basically given away to the Salvation Army probably. It was kind of a bit late. My parents did rescue a few things of my grandma's for me, but this was not thought of, and I wish I'd said something. I would have loved to have had my grandma's, but I picked this up in honor of my grandma, and basically this is a replica of what would have been a traditional one. So someone in the States on Etsy retrieved a mold from the original kitsch sort of 1950s maybe trees, these light up trees, and started making new ones. So it is a new facsimile. Is that the right word? That's what they'd use for like a tarot deck, but I don't know if that would translate for a model like this. It's like a version of what it would have been like, but it's newly made. But it still has a place in my heart, and I just think it's beautiful. It's very kitsch. It really should be in the kitchen, but I like it here because I like to sit and have a cup of tea in the evening and watch, Christmas films, and have this here, even though it doesn't go with the rest of the snowy kind of white, pinky blush vibes. I love it so much. As you've seen, this is really the most festive space in the kitchen, apart from the tree. This beautiful apothecary, and I've got the witch's devil, log, and our candles, and just all of the herbs, foliage, etc. Some Christmassy cookbooks as well. Okay, so here, as promised, is the Christmas tree as it looks when it's dark here. So I really do want to talk again about how important these rituals are to me during this time, and always has been. There's something very nostalgic about putting up the tree and decorating it every year, and having special decorations that you get out every year. And I know that so many people feel that way, even people who don't have a spiritual practice or worldview. And it does connect you with your ancestors and your bloodline. I think for many it's an opportunity to get out those old decorations that our families had, and if we had those lovely Christmases as we were a child, it can be a really beautiful time, but it can also be a really painful time for many people, and that's not lost on me either. But whether you are creating rituals with your loved ones now, or honouring rituals and traditions that you grew up with, or that are sacred to you in some way, it's a really potent way to work magic. And every single time you place an item on the tree, and every time you look at it and meditate on it, it's a chance to imbue it with magic and to manifest what you desire, that joy, that abundance, that prosperity. And that's what creating those baubles did for me several years ago, and I do love that, which is why I love creating the orange slices, and whenever I have time to create my own decorations or DIY, it is even more powerful. So just take your time with this and follow your heart and instincts. Create magic and enjoy. And here it is with the lights off. It's so magical. just love it so much. It brings me so much joy, honestly, and isn't that the whole point? It's just an absolute joy. I also do feel that it is very challenging at this point in human history when there are so many horrors going on in the world. It's really hard to feel festive and to get into the spirit. I've been meditating on this a lot and really putting a lot of energy into pushing love and joy into the tree and feeling that back from the tree and sending it out to the world and the collective at this time. I also want to say, if anyone's in pain, I do send that love to you. As I wrote about on Instagram recently, I am taking it moment to moment, day to day, and leaning into the joys, even in the mundane, and romancing all the ordinary little bits like muddy paws and tantruming kids, and just being really grateful for the joy and the things that I have, and focusing on the energy of gifting and love, having compassion for others around me, even those who may have hurt me in the past. And that's really hard to do. I'm doing a lot of shadow work at the moment, and that's also really important. But the gratitude and the gifting to those I love and sending that love out is what I'm focused on right now. So I also wanted to share these little Rudolphs that my dad brought over last night. He made them. They are so super cute. There was actually a third, and my daughter took that one upstairs. That's her little Rudolph. But I just think they're adorable. They're so cute, and my dad made them for us, so I was thrilled with those. And I did go to the garden centre with my hubby and the kids were a little bit all over the place, so like I said, appreciating the tantruming children. But these are some of the new decorations that I bought: the roses, and then I got a pack of glass gold baubles, as well as the ones that I'm sort of pointing out with the pheasant and the plants. This little heart was so beautiful. I just love the roses as well. I think they are beautiful, especially as I work with rose a lot as a herbal ally. I just thought bringing that layer of correspondence to the tree was so beautiful. So just a more imbuing of energy, of love, and that feeling of abundance and prosperity. Oh, and the mushrooms as well, I just absolutely adored. So yeah, I'm loving the tree now, and it just feels like it's so magical and beautiful and complete. So I really hope that you enjoyed seeing all of the twinkly lights and the decorations. I have had a lovely time sharing these decorations with you, and I hope that you are having a beautiful Yuletide season. And a reminder as well, don't forget to pick up some beautiful, luxurious quality jewellery from Ana Luisa with 35% off at the moment. We've only got a few more days to go, so don't miss this opportunity to get some really beautiful pieces, either for yourself, to gift yourself, or a loved one this Christmas. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you have a really beautiful festive season, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Mwah. Blessings. Bye.